Good morning. So this video is from Sumo Publishing. And they have a series of videos where they just go out, they call them people on the street, and they just go out the streets of New York to Washington Park, and they ask people different questions. And this one was, what is power? And I think perhaps power has gotten a bad rap, because the words that popped out for me are control, force, weapons, oil, government, force, politics, money, walking in the bar and getting everybody's attention. Ego. The word abuse came up. But what really is power? As we continue our series with our words that we've chosen for the year, I am, power is the word for today. Power is the word that Quentin chose. And it's interesting when I think of Quentin. Quentin's my husband, by the way, so I know him pretty well. You know how it is when you're in a relationship. Sometimes you think you know everything, and then you find out things along the way, 10, 15 years down the road. But one of the things I love about my husband is that he has a quiet power. He doesn't have to wield aggression at people. He is very quiet and gentle, and in that gentleness, there is a palpable power. He just kind of walks around comfortable in his own skin, not needing to force you or to make you know who he is or to be in the room and be noticed. He doesn't need attention. He doesn't cry out for attention. In fact, most of the time he's trying to avoid it. And it's that kind of quiet power that when I met him that I think I was attracted to, because usually I'm the one in our family who's up here, who's busy and crazy and has got 1,000 things on her mind. I'm trying to get stuff done, and these things are important, and we got to do this, we got to do that. And he just chills me out. And some days he just looks at me. Bless her heart. She's just running around like a chicken without a head once again. And without raising his voice, and sometimes without saying a thing, it just brings me down here. And I think that's really powerful. We have powerful men in this community. All of them just like that. Quiet, powerful souls with big hearts. That, I think, is true power. And I believe that the real power that we have is rooted in God. Is rooted in spirit. That's where the true power comes from. That's the seat of it all. Because when there is nothing else for you to stand on, that is always there. God is always there. Spirit is always there. That basic goodness in the universe is always there. Like the lyrics to Lisa's song, when you can't find anything that you're grateful for, when life is not going well, we can still be grateful because of that undercurrent of goodness and life and grace. Charles Fillmore, one of the co-founders of Unity, says that power comes from the Holy Spirit. He says in his book, The 12 Powers, Jesus Christ promised that we shall receive power when the Holy Spirit comes upon us. The Holy Spirit is God in action. Since the activity of spirit gives us power, we must logically conclude that power is a force generated from God through the activity of our words and thoughts. We receive added power when we set into action deeper realizations of the love, the wisdom, the strength, the life, and the zeal of the Almighty. The expression of power is regulated by our thoughts and our words. Jesus' apostle Philip symbolizes power. Power expresses itself through soul and body at the point in the throat where the hypoglossus muscle is located. Christian metaphysicians call this place in the throat the power center. And the throat is called the power center because that is where we speak words into existence and things become manifest. It is the I am that is God, that is the root of power. And as we speak I am affirmations, that is our power, no matter what you speak. So if you speak something that is an abuse of power, or that is less than your innate divinity, then that is your power. Actually, an adulteration of real power, when we speak something that is less than our innate divinity. So as you walk through your day saying, I am this or I am that, by speaking it aloud and bringing the word forth, that is what you are declaring as your power. The I am. The I am. What you give voice to, we bring into the world, into existence. So we have an opportunity at every moment, at every breath, at every word, to be the expression of God for whoever you meet. Think about that. If we are the hands and feet of God, then however you show up is God for someone else. Quiet power, the beingness that you are. What you think you are is your power and dictates how you show up. And so if you can come from the core, which is your goodness, your innate goodness, then you get to shift your experience and the experience of the world around you to goodness. Power is not aggression. Power is not intimidation. Power is not money. Power is a state of beingness. Of beingness. It requires no words. It requires nothing to be said. It is just your core of beingness. Think about that. So as we're faced with life, as we're faced with people who say things to us, push our buttons, it is your power that allows you to not react. It is your power that allows you to respond, often without saying a word, not having to defend, not having to fight back, not having to hurl out pain for pain. As my father used to say to us growing up, You don't have to sink to somebody else's level. Just because they go there, you don't have to go there. And he always used to look us in the eye and say, know who you are. And let that dictate how you show up, how you respond. And he would often catch us when we spoke something and say, is that really how that should have come out of your mouth? Is that really how you should respond to your sister or your brother? Oh, let alone if I ever responded to my mother in a way that was not acceptable. Because if you know who you are truly, that you are a child of God, that you are innate goodness, then there is no reason to fight back. There is no reason to respond to crazy. There is no reason to respond to foolishness. You can simply stand and be who you are and walk away. Or stand and look them in the eye. And they'll know who you are without you telling them. They'll know that you have power without you saying it. I remember when my niece was in her early 20s and having some struggles. She would always say to me, I'm a grown woman. And I would say, if you were, you wouldn't have to tell me. But we know by your living. We know by how you are, by how you speak, by what you do, how you carry yourself. People who are truly powerful don't have to walk around telling you they're powerful. You know it by how they walk in the room, how they carry themselves, how they respond. When I'm not feeling powerful, I'm reactive. That hair trigger response we have just shoots off. Shoots off. Often to someone else's detriment, and my own. And my own. Because we not only do them a disservice, we do ourselves a disservice. We've just denigrated ourselves to something other than what we are. So whatever you call God, destiny, spirit, Creator, the universe, doesn't matter what you call it. Whatever it is, that foundation, that groundedness that we talked about last week, that groundedness is power. You'll never feel your power if you don't get the groundedness. If you don't steep yourself in something that allows you to take root and hold on. Remember we talked about the storms last week and how if you are a tree, you start to blow in the wind, flopping back and forth all over the place. Wherever the wind goes, you go. That's what happens when you're not in your power. You're just all over the place, swirling around, leaves falling off. Yeah, when you're starting to lose it. And sometimes we get uprooted because even though you might have roots, maybe they're not rooted. Maybe you're not rooted deeply enough. So that groundedness, that's the seat of power. Like my father used to tell me, know who and what you are. Grounded in the Holy Spirit. That animating life. Remind yourself And here it comes again. Practice prayer and meditation in the quiet, so you can hear what you need to hear. And you get used to being in that grounded space. Because when you practice and you're used to being in that grounded space, you feel that space no matter what's going on. You feel it all the time. And you're aware of, yes, the chaos around you. You're aware of the storms that blow in and out of our lives. You're aware of the noise. You're aware of the distractions. And all you feel is grounded and rooted. Grounded and rooted. Grounded and rooted. Where nothing can uproot you. Nothing. Not death, not calamity, not loss of a job, not loss of relationships. I'm not saying it won't hurt. I'm not saying there won't be pain. I'm not saying there won't be grief. I'm saying that you'll feel rooted nonetheless. You can be emotional and grounded at the same time. You can be weeping and grounded. You can be joyful and grounded. You can be in the midst of family with all kinds of stuff going on. You know how stuff crops up. Those buttons get pushed that you still have from when you were little. And still when we're adults, that stuff happens and your younger brother or your older sister or somebody's pushing a button that's still there from when you're 5 years old, 10 years old. That can go on and you can still be rooted. You can know the stuff for what it is. You can know that there are buttons but not suffer from them anymore. I only mention that because we're in the holiday season. If you're not grounded or rooted through the holiday season, it can get kind of crazy for some people. And then the holidays can become less joyful because we're stuck in the crazy, perhaps from decades ago. That cooks up when we all get in the same room. Not enough space around us. Sometimes it's easier to be happier with those we love when they're further away. Yeah, all it takes is for 10 or 15 of you to be in the same room, and stuff gets chaotic. There may always be chaos, but you don't have to feel the chaos. You don't have to rock and roll with it. You don't have to swirl with it. You don't have to get knocked off your feet with it. You can just look around the room at all the people you love and say, yeah, these are my crazy people. And I love them. And I'm not going doing the crazy with them. Because it's all okay. Everything's okay when you're grounded and rooted in your power. In your power. So there's no need to worry about politics. There's no need to worry about war, oil, walking in the bar. Walking into a meeting, going to work, having stuff hit the fan. There's no need to worry about it. Because you know who you are. You know what you are. You know what you are rooted in. And know that it is always there. It's been there since the dawn of time. It is the dawn of time. God is first cause. There before anything else. It is the root of everything else. That is spirit. And so if you stay with it, if you stay in your awareness of it, nothing else matters. Nothing. Nothing. Know what your root is. Know what the seat of your power is. Stay in prayer and meditation. Like we talked about before, it's the practice, the everyday practice at doing it when you don't need it, doing it when the buttons are not getting pushed. Do it when everything feels good. When everything seems to be going right. That's often when we let it go. Because we feel like, oh, I don't need God today. Because everything's going right. And then something happens and suddenly, oh, where's God now? Save me, save me. Yeah? So if we do the practice, if we stay in the groundedness that we talked about last week, stay in the practice, then again, when stuff gets tough, you will be the powerful one. You will be rooted. You will know. You'll be able to see clearly through all the crazy, all the chaos. You can be thankful when stuff goes wrong. You'll be able to be peaceful when things are chaotic. You'll be able to be steadfast when the rug gets pulled out from under you. You'll be able to take a breath when it feels like the life is being pulled from you. So let's end with this meditation. This is from Divine Audacity by Linda Martella Whitsett. She was formerly the head of Silent Unity. And at the end of each chapter, it's a book of the 12 powers. And at the end of each chapter, she has a meditation there. So if you're comfortable with it, close your eyes. And let these words be the words of your heart. Through my breath, I sense the power of this present moment. I breathe intentionally, fully, a whole body breath, energizing my entire body. I breathe this way for several minutes until I sense the concentration of spiritual power in my throat chakra. The root of the tongue, or the throat chakra, is the seat of spiritual power. I bathe this area with the color of bright purple, a healing stream of light. I am the power of concentration, self-mastery, and spiritual authority. My source of power is divine power. By divine nature, I cannot be powerless or ill. I am not in the world to cower in the presence of others' power. I release any hesitancy to shine the full light of spiritual awareness in the world. All power is mine in heaven and on earth, in spiritual as well as material aspects of life. By spiritual power, I concentrate on shining the light of love, life, wisdom, and all spiritual powers into my life and into the world. I am master of my thoughts, words, and actions. I master myself. I respect myself and hold myself accountable. By spiritual power, I am a presence in whose presence other people awaken to their divine identity. By spiritual power, I am a presence in whose presence others awaken to their divine identity. Let's take a deep breath together and then exhale. Let's just be together in silence, feeling that power, feeling that peace, that groundedness that is God, that is us right here, right now. Okay, let's breathe in together deeply and inhale. Hold it at the top for 2 seconds. Hold it and now release. Breathe out. And now as we're feeling our power and our strength, let's take our tithes and